presents
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s on the move.
Classic NASCAR Racing.
Down to the inside of Kyle Busch.
An epic Richmond Raceway battle.
He'll get the spot off the end of the back straightaway.
Between two of NASCAR's best.
Side by side for the lead and the win here at Richmond.
And a surprise finish.
Sometimes it's all about being in the right place at the right time.
Get your NASCAR fix. Sunday at noon on the Motor Racing Network.
On Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920 and Big920.com.
All right, race fans, it's time for 90 minutes of nothing but motorsports. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, your destination for comprehensive coverage of the Wisconsin racing scene and the world of motorsports. Now, in its 36th season, the Racing Roundup Show is America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program, held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast. And now, here's the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, welcome along for the ride. This is the Racing Roundup Show, week number 2 of our 36th season. Welcome if you're in your shop watching or listening on your iHeartRadio app or on the Big 920 or the Big 1070, the 1070 The Game in Madison, or on our Facebook Live feed. We're happy to have you with us for the next 90 minutes talking nothing but motorsports. With another week of no on-track racing, more news has transpired affecting Wisconsin race fans, specifically 2 events on the 2020 schedule at the Milwaukee Mile. The May Milwaukee Street Drags event has been canceled, as has the historic IndyCar event held every summer at the Milwaukee Mile, the Harry Miller Club meet. It was scheduled for the end of June. It's been scrapped for this year. Organizers cited Wisconsin State Fair Park being used as an alternate care facility during the COVID-19 pandemic as the reason. Still on is the mile race June 13 and 14, the return of the ARCA Midwest Tour, Midwest Truck Series, Mid-Am Stock Car Series, and Vintage Indy Registry. We're hoping to have Greg McCarnes on our show next week to discuss this, among other topics, on our program. Tonight's guests include Paulie from Paulies Pub and Eatery. They're open. We're also going to chat on our first segment with Speed 51 President and my MAV TV booth partner, Bob Dillner. Wisconsin proud 9-time IRA Outlaw Sprints champ Bill Baylog is going to log in with us via the Skype, and we'll chat about what it takes to develop championship-winning racing transmissions with Charlie from ATD. We continue to appreciate all of our friends and family still working through this crisis, including those on the front line in healthcare. Truck drivers, thank you. All the folks working from home and those working on the job site to keep their businesses open, thank you. We encourage you to support businesses that still are open and need you to buy their food, products, and services, including sponsors of our show. We appreciate each and every one of you for doing just that, and the thousands that have tuned into our show and shared via Facebook and on our website as well, racingroundup.net. Stay tuned. We have a great show for you. Bob Dillner and the Andersons Pure Maple Syrup NASCAR Report is next on the way.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and Madison on 1070 The Game.
Wisconsin, with landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts of Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business regarding your landscaping or lawn care needs. Find out why Central Services can provide you with a visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005 or toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE-trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. Next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Wolf Paving Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club in Dousman. Most Sundays from April through September, Club Championship Points Racers and National Touring Series will race on the challenging paved road course. 4 bank turns have been added and provide new challenges to Wolf Paving Raceway, already one of the finest kart racing tracks in the country. Kart racing offers competition for racers of all ages, from 5 to 80. There are 15 classes and over 100 entries a week. Race where Ellen Kowicki, Danica Patrick, and Josh Palicki got their start. Spectator admission is always free. Walk the pits, talk to the racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand, too. Bring the whole family and check out kart racing for yourself. Wolf Paving Raceway is just south of I-94, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. Take the Highway 67 Dousman-Oconomowoc exit, head south to Highway 18, then west to Grambling Road. For all the latest information and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show, live from the kitchen. Thanks for joining us here on this program. Looking forward to another wonderful show. Every Tuesday between now and September, you'll see and hear us on the Racing Roundup Show, bringing you all the latest in the world of motorsports, including the NASCAR Report. Once again, brought to you by a proud Wisconsin family business, Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup. They sponsor our NASCAR race team as well, of Richard Childress Racing, and their driver, Anthony Alfredo, along with Wisconsin racers, Dennis Prunty, and our show guest a little bit later on, Bill Baylog. Try some Anderson's Maple Syrup on your next dish of vanilla ice cream. I did last week, and it was delicious. It's made right here in Wisconsin and available at your favorite grocery store. Anderson's Maple Syrup, pure quality since 1928. The biggest news of the day is the release of Kyle Larson from his Chip Ganassi Racing Cup Series ride after he made a major mistake he's owned up to, saying the N-word in a conversation during an iRacing event Sunday. It was not televised, but it was online, and it was unfortunately an open mic kind of situation. It's most unfortunate he said what he said, which is unacceptable. Larson has entered Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer commenting in between Voice of Outlaws on the PA and on their streams, Johnny Gibson doing the race call. And our guest tonight, Bill Baylog, raced his way to a top 5 sprint car finish on Wednesday. Looking forward to talking to him about that as he finished 5th behind winner Kevin Swindell in the sprint car category on Wednesday. NBC Sports spent the entire week last week showing real races and iRacing events, including an IndyCar iRace on Michigan's 2-mile oval on Saturday, where Simon Pagenaud won and Dale Jr. came up from deep in the field to finish 3rd. Robert Wickens and Jimmy Johnson have also raced in the last 2 IndyCar iRacing events. It's off to Twin Ring Motegi for the IndyCars this Saturday, but no Dale Jr. in that field. Congrats to past Racing Roundup Show guest Chase Briscoe for his performances on both dirt and asphalt on iRacing this past week. I caught a bunch of it. Top 5 runs, and no matter what he drove, and he won the big Martinsville finale of the NBC Esports Short Track iRacing Challenge last Thursday night, where 6 different NASCAR drivers per night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, qualified for the big race that was won by Briscoe on Thursday at Martinsville. On the lighter side, on their YouTube channel, you can race or watch the hilarious Dinner with Racers Thursday Night Blunder races, where they have already raced the unlikely pairings of Stadium Super Truck, IndyCar, IMSA Prototype, and NASCAR Xfinity Series race cars all at the same time on the same track at Sebring. Then they had Dave Despain jump in as a guest commentator a couple of weeks ago. And last Thursday, they raced around Martinsville in 3 classes of trucks, NASCAR trucks plus Pro 2 and Pro 4 off-road trucks. And I saw some video of that, and my goodness, it's worth tuning into their YouTube channel, Dinner with Racers. And a Wisconsin Wingless Invitational Sprint Car race organized by past Racing Roundup Show guest Derek Crane was run recently with 40 drivers. That was streamed live on YouTube. I came across Chris Johnson's dubbed Hales Corners Dirt Late Model Racers race at an event at Eldora together. Jamie Iverson just won a league race held for drivers in Michigan's UP. So a lot going on in the world of fun and racing when it comes to NASCAR and iRacing. Now, my opinion on Kyle Larson, I just mentioned, and I typed it out. I read what I wanted to say. But unfortunately for Kyle Larson, in this microcosm of what is going on, no other racing going on, and what he said, albeit inexcusable, unacceptable, unfortunately it carries a lot of weight, and a lot of weight in terms of even the World of Outlaws saying they're going to put him through a program, a sensitivity training. NASCAR certainly is going to do that before they reinstate Kyle Larson in any capacity, in any form. iRacing also has said, Kyle, we would like you not to be on part of our iRacing stuff for a while. So we'll see how that plays out for Kyle Larson again, who was let go from his NASCAR ride with Chip Ganassi Racing this past week. Actually, this morning was when the news came through. So looking forward to what develops there. We're going to take a look at other things in the world of sports. We mentioned IndyCar iRacing. That is pretty cool because you know why? IndyCars racing on Saturdays have the new windscreen. And the updates are really cool on iRacing. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, they don't race at Michigan International Speedway anymore in IndyCars. But last Saturday they ran a race. Simon Pagenaud won it. There were a bunch of IndyCar guys in it. I mentioned Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson raced in it last week. Having them as part of it makes a big deal. Anything Dale Jr. does, NBC Sports wants to be part of. And fortunately for Fox to get their piece of Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's raced in the iRacing NASCAR Cup races, the Pro Invitational Series on Sundays that are airing live on Fox Sports 1. They'll continue to air. But this past week, Dale Jr. also had some pretty insightful things. So if you have a chance to catch Michael Waltrip's show, it aired this week on Fox Sports 1 in place of Race Hub. I think there were some pretty cool things you may not know about Dale and his dad and how he and Michael not only were teammates at DEI, but how they developed a relationship and how they responded when Dale said, this is what you should do, or this is how you do it, or his influence in what they did and how they performed. And one takeaway from the Michael Waltrip interview, he was in his living space. Dale Jr. was at home. When they did that one-on-one interview, I thought it was pretty cool that Dale was pretty open and honest. And he wasn't the NBC guy talking to the Fox guy because it aired on Fox Sports 1. It was Dale talking to his friend Michael. And they were very complimentary to each other, as you'd imagine. But also, Dale Jr. talked about getting fired from his dad's car dealership. He was working in the service bay. I think he's the oil change guy, trying to work his way through, and got the gumption to make a stand and say, if you want me after work for a meeting, I'm going to have to be punched in to get that meeting going, right? I'm not punched in. And the guy said, well, you don't have to punch in. You can just get your toolbox and go. And he got let go. So I learned that on the show this past week. So there's a lot of things to consume, I know, online and on TV, and I'm going to make a concerted effort this week to find out what's going on in Wisconsin short track racing when it comes to iRacing and when it comes to leagues and when it comes to who's racing where. So if you have a chance, drop us a note on our Facebook page, drop us a note on our email, racingroundup@gmail.com. Pop us a note saying, hey, this is where we're racing. This is what our league is set up to do, because I want to delve a little bit more into what Wisconsin racers are doing to fill the time and have some fun with that. Also, one more thing to think about is in this time, we're not racing, but there's also a chance to share your pictures of what your race shop looks like, how far along you are in the cars, and it's with Speed 51. Speed51.com is a multiple source destination, really, and when it comes down to it, the neat thing about what they started this week was actually hashtag. So if you post your picture of your race car in your race shop or what's going on in your shop, use the hashtag 51ShopPics, 51ShopPics, P-I-C-S, and you can share pictures online and on social media by using the hashtag 51ShopPics, and they'll post them, they'll share them, we'll have some fun with it. So it's another way to enjoy that involvement and interaction with those folks at Speed 51. We're open to connect with Bob Dillner, who is with Speed 51. We've got this wonderful world of Skype going on, trying to get that working. We're in contact with Bob now. In the meantime, we'll continue telling you about other things that are going on in the world of motorsports. We mentioned at the very top of the show, if you missed it, that the State Fair Park, Wisconsin State Fair Park, right across the street from Paulies, at the Milwaukee Mile, that big expo center, that building is being turned into an alternate care facility, if needed, as a secondary hospital. Actually, one of the hospital facilities they would use during this COVID-19 pandemic. That has also restricted a number of activities at the Fair Park. One of those activities is in June, the Harry A. Miller Club Vintage IndyCar Meet. They decided to forego their June 24-26 weekend, and they're going to schedule for July of 2021. July 9 and 10 are the dates. That also affected the May Milwaukee Street Drags. That was going to be a Tuesday night tradition every month, May, June, July, and August, and September, like it had been the last 2 years. That May event has also been shelved. But one thing we want to keep reminding you of, we got to keep following trackenterprises.com, ARCAMidwestTour.com, finding out more about that event June 13-14 that affects a lot of Wisconsin racers that want to get their crack at racing on the Milwaukee Mile. That event is still on, June 13 and 14, Saturday, Sunday. That event has not been changed or affected. We're hoping to talk to Greg McCarns. I asked him a couple weeks ago to be on the show next week, April 21st, as scheduled. He said, let's touch base before that. So things continue to evolve, and you can imagine what everybody's going through. Race promoters need to put on races. Racers need to race their cars on the track, and they also need your support. So, again, as we mentioned, keep supporting those who support our show. We're going to take a commercial and kind of get reset here at the Race Roundup headquarters. We want to thank our friends at Matt Rapina, Caldwell Banker, Home Sale Realty. We're streaming live on our website, racingroundup.net. You can also enjoy watching what you hear on our Facebook Live feed And we are fortunate to have you with us tonight. We had over 3,000 people share and enjoy our Facebook Live feed or put out a little clip it. And thanks to Ty Majeski, last week's guest, for sharing his portion. And John Everett, of course, and Joe Vertigan and Dean Straum. They were all great guests last week. We have more great guests lined up for you this week on the program. We look forward to having you join us sometime real soon at Paulies Pub and Eatery. We're talking to Paulie tonight as one of our guests on the show. So stay tuned. A lot more to come here on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show, live from the kitchen on this Tuesday night.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Calling all racers. Turn your metal recyclables into cash at one of Allied Resource Recovery's locations in Milwaukee, West Allis, or Waukesha. Who doesn't like cash for that metal you no longer use in your race shop or on your job site? Allied Resource Recovery, family owned by hardcore racers, and has been recycling since 1938. Recycling pays for you and the environment. Allied Resource Recovery, your recycling destination. For more, visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com.
It's back! The NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 makes its return to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. August 6th through the 8th. The weekend will feature incredible wheel-to-wheel action along with the SCCA Pro Trans Am Series and the return of the incredible Stadium Super Trucks that fly 20 feet off the ground. It's a green flag of family fun and activities. Call 1-800-365-RACE or print your tickets at home. Visit RoadAmerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the number one replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Can you hear me, Bill?
Yeah, you bet.
Great, thank you. We're in commercial. We'll be coming right out of this to you. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show in Wisconsin's two largest markets, Milwaukee and Madison. Also streaming live on our website, racingroundup.net. We can see all of our sponsor logos. We want you to click on those sponsors, support those sponsors. And a great friend of our show, Bergie's Pub and Prime in Caledonia, is open. They're open today at 3 o'clock for daily, actually for takeout. It's worth the trip for the best food on Milwaukee's South Side. Like Bergie's Pub and Prime on Facebook to keep track of their daily specials, like Monday $6 burgers and fries, wings Wednesdays, and their Friday fish fry to go at Bergie's Pub and Prime. This portion of the show is brought to you by our friends in Random Lake at Miller's Sales and Service. If you're looking for your next work truck, pre-owned car, a boat, or dock lift, or the perfect trailer for your needs, check out the online inventory at millerssales.com. We're now joined by a gentleman on our Skype feed. Welcome to Skype. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Newly crowned 9-time bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series champion, Bill Baylog. How you doing, Bill? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jim. How are you doing?
We're doing really good, and I like the fact that we can see you on our screen sitting next to me here. We have an idea that we think this is cool. It's like almost like you're sitting next to me, which I really enjoy. What you been doing since the end of the last year? You walked across the stage as a champion at the IRA banquet. What has been your busy schedule, or maybe not so busy schedule, since that time?
No, not real super busy. Went to the Chili Bowl, didn't go very good, like normal. So, yeah, I don't know. Just been trying to stay busy. It's kind of snowing outside, and I'm quarantined, and I'm a school teacher, so it couldn't get any worse, I don't think.
School teacher by force, not by choice.
Yeah.
How's that going? You've got young kids at home. How have you been able to occupy the day? I keep seeing cool things like, hey, here's my race car. It's a coloring book now. You can draw this. Have you tried that approach yet for some art class time?
Yes, we've got, we got to submit homework or schoolwork every day, and there's been some race cars in there, and yeah, it's supposed to be a few hours a day, but it seems to take a little longer than that for some reason. But no, it's kind of fun actually, but it's tough for me to do it. So, but the kids don't hate me yet, I don't think. So we're doing all right.
When it comes to the kids and getting involved, I know that you've been able to race full time. You've been able to grab your family and go with you. You've been having a shop time with them near you. How have they been helping with you with the race car? If it's just sitting in the garage waiting to go racing, have they been tinkering and asking you much of questions when it comes to your kids' involvement and interest in what you do?
Yeah, Cole, Dylan has a little race car that we've been working on, and Cole has a go-kart, which he hasn't done that yet. I don't know if he's quite ready for that, so we're kind of holding off on that for now, but yeah, tinkering in the shop, we've been mailing out a lot of shirts, so they help me with all that stuff. So they know what the post office is like. So, yeah, just trying to teach them, and if they want to go racing a little more, it's fine with me.
Indeed, and we all want to go racing. We're talking a 9-time champ, Bill Baylog. Last year, you raced a ton. 26 features in total on your, and won 9 of those. Did Bill Baylog, and winning your 9th championship last year. I don't know if you ever set out in a given year in recent years to go after a championship of any sort, because I know you're expanding your ability to race in the World of Outlaws and that kind of thing. Let's revisit 2019 for a minute, Bill. Were you thinking about going for the championship last year? Is that where your teams were focused on and doing so well,
yeah,
by 400-some points?
Yeah, with the Ryan Auto team, and they have goals that they want to meet, and I like to race with the IRA. It's my home, so it's it's something that we definitely set out to do last year, and I think in 17 we did that. In 2018 we didn't. We missed some, and I took off for a while, and they helped me out with my own car, and then I ran their car too. So yeah, we definitely set out last year to do it, and we did it. So it was definitely a great accomplishment, and I'm pretty proud of it.
I don't know if you know the number offhand, but do you recall how many races outside of the IRA you did with the Wing Sprint car last year? 410?
Yeah, I haven't really. I should know that stuff, but I just don't. I barely remember any of it actually. I think we did probably 70 plus shows last year in total. So we took off quite a bit with my car, and we're going to do the same thing in 2020. I'm pretty sure that if we ever get to race again, that's our plan, is to kind of do the same thing, but maybe a little bit more with the Ryan Auto car. So that'll be cool.
And that would be primarily IRA and then whatever else falls in. Is that what I'm thinking? I hear you say?
Yep. Yeah, we're just going to fill up as many as we can because Hans and I have our stuff, and Ryan Auto has their stuff, and there's plenty of parts and cars. So it's just a matter of, we actually just run out of races and time, really. We have at this point, it always used to be different. It was always, we didn't have motors or we didn't have, parts or tires, and now we're kind of sitting pretty good on that stuff, thanks to, everybody that, helps us out and the Ryan Auto guys.
Now, for those who are listening to our show for the first time and hearing Bill Baylog, we've had the fortune of having you on the show in past years. This year is different. I think, is this the best situation you're possibly in? Take us through the inventory of your stuff with Hans, the Ryan Auto stuff, and then getting chances and calls from other teams to race their stuff on occasion. What's the current roster for Bill Baylog? Whose equipment's racing when?
It's just going to be as much as possible, and I honestly, we just need to get started and do something. We've been racing bicycles around here in the yard, so it's kind of depressing. I think when it comes to the Ryan Auto car, they have more stuff than they've ever had, and they're sitting in a really good position that way. But we can't go anywhere, so it's really horrible. But hopefully, things clear up and we can get out there and do it all over again.
Indeed, and we're talking to Bill Baylog in 2015, set the world on its ear when it came to World Outlaws in his backyard, winning at Beaver Dam Raceway. And you know what? It's not uncommon to see Bill Baylog race with the World of Outlaws, including this past Wednesday night, Bill. iRacing, I'm watching on Fox Sports 1. I hear Johnny Gibson talking all about these sprint car guys, and all of a sudden, boom, the finish line, and there goes Bill Baylog to fifth. That was awesome to see. How long have you been doing iRacing and at that level?
I built the simulator a few years ago, so I've had it for a while, but I've had this, you've heard of Semmelman, late Scott Semmelman. His son Austin has been helping me out, and he's really good at it, and so we've got the car going pretty good now, and I can at least drive it now, so I got to thank him. But I try to do it a couple times a week. I did one today, got my butt kicked, but every once in a while you get going good and things will fall your way. So I kind of did the other night on the FS1 race.
At Knoxville Raceway, you've got laps there. How different was that in the environment you were in, knowing that, okay, if I screw up, this is going to happen? Or if I don't advance, all those pressures of a real race, how real was it for you to get in the A and then advance as you did up the pylon, I'd call it, real quick at the end?
Yeah, the track is extremely similar. It's very hard to hit the bottom. It's at the end. I was sweating. My arms were tired. I was happy. It was kind of like the real thing. We were at one point about halfway through. I was in 10th, and my son Dylan was watching it on TV, and he came down. And he's hugging me during the caution, and you're in 10th, Dad. And so it was kind of funny, but. Yeah, it's definitely, it's fun when you get racing with good people, and it's a little bit frustrating when you spend some time on it and you get crashed on the first lap. It's just like real life that way.
How much more are you going to do with this, and will you be on this Wednesday's, tomorrow night's show again, if you have a choice?
I don't know if they're doing it again tomorrow night.
Okay.
I don't know if they're doing the FS1 race tomorrow night, and if they are, I wasn't invited.
Oh, okay.
So they're invitationals, and the Outlaw invitationals were invited to, and the TV ones, I think you gotta, I don't know what you gotta do, but you gotta run good and get invited back.
I think you did okay last week. I think the audition went pretty well. Yeah. Hope you get called back.
Yeah, no, it was super fun. I was, like I said, we had the thing going good. We had a good strategy, and we just had a good car, is all it was.
Talking to Bill Baylog about his top 5 finish this past Wednesday at the World of Outlaws Invitational. I raced live on FS1. When you get a chance to race, how does it get organized? I guess that's a question I've been thinking about. When it comes to getting invited, how much do you have to log in? Do you have to check in 10 times before they do that? Or how do you connect with what would be a live broadcast now of iRacing on TV?
Yeah, it's way over my head, I'll tell you that. Austin has been helping me with that. I can barely log into this thing and be able to listen to people. It's kind of like the Skype thing today, but yeah, if you miss the start, or if you don't log in and enter the league correctly, you're just not going to be in the race, and they're going to get somebody else in there to do it for you. So yeah, it's kind of it's all organized. I mean, the Outlaw thing is the same. It's Mike Hess and the officials that normally do it. They're on the radio talking to you and throwing the cautions, and it's really neat. So there's not much else going on, so it's definitely fun to get out there and race, and I think it is good for you, in a way.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be. It gets you in that mindset, gets you off the stir-crazy stick, and just kind of just going through it. Now, when it comes to the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series, you guys get to race with Moa. You guys get to race with the All-Stars a couple times. You guys, the Knoxville Nationals, you don't have a points race, so you get a chance to take a crack at that. I credit you, Bill, with a lot of the idea that when people want to race like Rico Abreu coming through town, or the or McCarles or a Kemen on a given occasion, when they come through, they know they're in for a battle. They like racing against you. How much do you enjoy when other racers come to IRA and know that they're going to get a run for the money, not just a cherry pick and go kind of a situation that may be what the original Outlaws were trying to prove back in 1978?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've always, more in recent years, felt like we need to defend our territory like the other regions do. Like California does it, Pennsylvania does it. The Outlaws obviously do it. And, if us Wisconsin guys could work together a little bit more to become better, a better group all together, I think that would be great, because we kind of, we're fighting against each other too. But, yeah, it's nice to definitely defend, and it's, at least if you can, give them a run for their money, I guess, If it's just a weekly race and, it pays whatever to win, I mean, you got to try to win it, so that's the whole goal. But, yeah, definitely have some Wisconsin pride and want to, keep the money in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and looking forward to it. There's going to be a big payday. The All-Stars are bringing them for the IRA co-sanction. What have you thought about that? What have you read into that? And are you already on the money line saying, I've got this one?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, that'll be a good one. $20,000 to win at Plymouth. I don't remember what date it is, but yeah, I think, and that's in Ryan Otto's backyard. They've raced at Plymouth every weekend for, 25 years or 30 years or whatever. So they want to win that bad. The last time the All-Stars were here, we were terrible, and I don't really know why, but we just did not get it going good. And you just got to nail it on that night too. That's kind of the thing. You got to nail that setup. You got to be in a good, you got to start up in the top 10 and all that stuff. So I'm confident. I mean, we've got enough laps there, and there really is no excuse. I mean, we just got to get the job done.
When you are racing, more and more people know about you. That kid in the big foam funny hat always seems to find you in Pennsylvania when you're there racing. And I see those clips and interviews. How much fun is it now that you're building that fan base? You're getting Anderson's Maple Syrup and other sponsors more notoriety with your race team. How much fun is that, building more than just what you have as a strong position here in the Upper Midwest?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I love going to Pennsylvania. I wish I was there right now. I mean, even not racing, it's just there are a bunch of fun people there, that just love to, get into the race and stuff. So, yeah, I met some good friends out there, made some good friends, and, I think I went to California once, and it was kind of similar. I mean, I sold a couple T-shirts to California last week, so I was like, that was surprising, and it was cool, so that, that kind of stuff really means something to me, and, yeah, it's nice to get out there and get your name out there and do try to make a name for yourself, I guess you could say.
You're making a name here, obviously. It's been great having you on this show. Are people able to buy? Hey, Bill's a full-time racer. Can people buy your shirts right now? It sounds like you're your own post office. Can they buy shirts now, and where can they buy them, Bill?
Yeah, you just go to BillBaylog.com. It's real easy. PayPal. You just go to the merch section and scroll through, and there's all kinds of stuff on there. I got some here. We're gonna give away a couple today, and just go to BillBaylog.com. There's all kinds of stuff. I got some koozies and license plates and all kinds of merch on there.
So you're saying we can we do giveaways after every show. That's the weirdest thing about not having a live audience, Bill. I mean, we've been playing in front of a crowd like you have for years. Other radio shows, simply by the nature of radio, you're in a glass room talking to the window for an hour and a half, and then the show's over. We've had the fun of being in a Racers crowd. It's so weird for us not to do that. We do giveaways after every show, so thanks for allowing us to give away a couple of shirts. And you mentioned today, that means now. If you want to win a Bill Baylog Racing T-shirt.
Yeah. Here you go, right here.
Right there.
I don't know if you can see. Let's see.
Look at that.
Yeah, there's a hat. Since it's snowing out, I put a hat out there, and there's some stickers.
So this is stuff you can win, including Bill's new iPhone, because that one just fell off the shelf. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Come on, hit that button, Bill. Hit the video button back so we can see those cool shirts.
Can you see me?
Yep,
okay, there we go. Sorry.
So on display is what are you showing us that we can win by listening and watching the Racing Roundup show?
There you go. There's some shirts. There's a hat, and there's some maple syrup, some Anderson's maple syrup there. So, yeah. There you go.
I think I just made up a way to give it away. We're going to let you email your entry because it's hard for me to just walk out to the audience after the show and award that because we do giveaways after every show. So if you want to win one of these prizes, including the size of your choice, we'll even make it that way if Bill has the size you need.
Yep.
You can get a hold of us. We'll get the bill. But if you want a shirt or a hat that Bill Baylog is willing to give away on the show right now, send us an email to racingroundup@gmail.com. So send us an email to racingroundup@gmail.com. In the subject line, put Win Baylog. That's all I got to do is put Win Baylog, and then we'll contact you back with what you may have won and perhaps even get the size you want and get it to you. So if you want to enter to win, this is the best way we've figured out. In this world we can't give away at the show after because you've been so kind to us in years past about giving us stuff to give away at the show. You're doing it again. If you want to win a Bill Baylog merchandise item, email your entry right now as you're listening and watching the show to racingroundup@gmail.com, and we'll figure it out. If you want to buy your very own, you're excited to see what Bill's got there. I see those are new designs. I haven't seen those before.
Yeah.
BillBaylog.com, and I'm sure that's where your schedule will be posted too, right, Bill?
Yeah, it's all the schedule's on there. I haven't updated some of the news stuff just because of the situation that we're in, but the schedule's all on there, and I think there's plenty of races. I just hope we can get out there and get some of them accomplished.
And part of how we can buy mac and cheese for the kids by selling shirts. So buy shirts at BillBaylog.com.
There you go.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
It's been fun to have him on. Again, if you want to win a Bill Baylog shirt because he is the 9-time IRA champ, send us an email right now, racingroundup@gmail.com. In the subject line, put Win Baylog. Bill, we wish you all the best. Winning Goods Back Racing. Thanks for your time tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot. See ya.
You bet. It's been awesome having Bill Baylog on our show. And you know what? That's part of what we do. And I get excited talking to racers, and he's excited to talk racing. And we're looking forward to having more racers on this show every Tuesday between now and September on the Racing Roundup Show. We've got more things to tell you about, including folks that are still open for business that are helping our show. We want you to turn your recycling into cash today. All 3 Allied Resource Recovery locations are open. At Allied Resource Recovery's West Allis Recycling location, it's at 80th and Burnham. Waukesha Recycling at 1001 Tesh Court is also an ARR, Allied Resource Recovery location. Take your recyclables in and turn them into cash. And at National Salvage on South 44th Street across from Miller Park. Go there, take your recyclables in, and if you want to go to AlliedResourceRecovery.com, that's where you can find out where your spring project, your yard cleanup, your basement remodel, whatever you're doing now, Allied has rollback dumpsters of all sizes. So go to Allied Resource Recovery, contact them, they'll drop it off in your driveway. When you fill it up, they'll take it away for you. So go to AlliedResourceRecovery.com. A great supporter of our show, and Phil Rayberg and the whole family involved is going to take care of you at Allied Resource Recovery, a great supporter of our show. When we come back, we're going to be hanging out where we like to hang out with Paulie at Paulies Pub and Eatery. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these words on the Racing Roundup Show.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
It's back! The NASCAR Xfinity Series Henry 180 makes its return to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America, August 6th through the 8th. The weekend will feature incredible wheel-to-wheel action along with the SCCA Pro Trans Am Series and the return of the incredible Stadium Super Trucks that fly 20 feet off the ground. It's a green flag of family fun and activities. Call 1-800-365-RACE or print your tickets at home. Visit roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair. From oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Speed 51's Video Network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
It's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Yep, sounds good.
Hey, Sam.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. You sound good to me. Do I sound good to you?
Yep. Sound
Money
good.
team, we're in business.
A little congested, but good.
Yep, same here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, you'll be able to download this guide from our website, tricountycontractingwi.com. Download it today.
This is the Big 920.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. I'm Jim Trado. We are live in the kitchen. Looking forward to having you join us on a Tuesday night. If you have an opportunity and you are a racer and you want to be on the show, we'll Skype you in on a future show. Go to our website, racingroundup.net. There's a I Want to Be a Guest menu bar button. There's also a Contact Us if you'd like to advertise on our show. We're looking forward to seeing your product or business displayed and advertised on our show. We're live in Milwaukee on the Big 920, live in Madison on 1070 The Game. We're live on our Facebook Live page as well as live on our website right now, streaming. Thanks to Matt Rapino, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. His involvement is as valuable as you can only imagine. If you're looking to buy or sell a residential or commercial property, choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and list it with Matt Rapina. He has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. Visit mattrapina.com, mattrapina.com. Looking forward to having you as part of our show as well. We also we just talked to Bill Baylog. If you're just joining our show, Bill Baylog, the 9-time IRA champ, is itching to go racing, but he's also selling a bunch of shirts. He said he sold some in Pennsylvania, sold some recently in California. Go to BillBaylog.com to buy shirts to support his racing. We also encourage you to go to our email and enter to win some Bill Baylog merchandise. It's pretty easy. Enter to win Bill Baylog merch. He just showed us some of those fine samples on our feed. You're welcome to see them after the show, as we'll post this show on our Facebook page. On our website. We're live on Facebook now. We want you to enter via email to win some Bill Baylog merchandise. We have no other way to get it to you right now. So email your entry to racingroundup@gmail.com, racingroundup@gmail.com, and in the subject line, just put Win Baylog, BALOG, and we'll know that you entered to win some cool merch, and we'll figure out how to get it to you and the size you want. And he said there's a winter hat in the offering. There's some Anderson's syrup in the offering, as Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup is a sponsor of our show. It's a great supporter of Bill Baylog as well, as he travels throughout the Midwest and the country, supporting another Wisconsin great company involved in motorsports. We encourage you, next time you're in the grocery aisle, to make sure you stop and buy some Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup. Looking forward to having their involvement again this year, sponsoring our first segment of the show. Or if there's a world of NASCAR news to share with you like we did at the top of the program, looking forward to having Anderson's as part of our show. And you can follow them all year long on Anderson's Facebook page as well on what racing they're up to, including upcoming races in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Anthony Alfredo, a newly signed part-time driver, the number 21 team for Richard Childress Racing, where they have an agreement there and an arrangement. The hat I actually have in front of me is from when Justin Allgaier in Junior Motorsports was sponsored by Anderson's Maple Syrup. That's what the number 7's on the bill. So if you haven't seen that hat in a while, it's because it's a vintage hat, because Richard Childress Racing, dating back to Matt Tifft three years ago, has been a partner with Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a proud Wisconsin business since 1928. We are looking forward to having another opportunity to hang out at Paulies Pub and Eatery. It's on 81st and Greenfield, right across from State Fair Park. The interior has been redesigned, and finally, the remodel has been done. If you had a chance to catch our little glimpse, Matt Rapina and I stopped down to Paulies. I think it was right before I went to the Rolex 24 in January. It's done. It's beautiful. There's flat screens everywhere. The walls are done. The windows are in. The overhead door is in. Looking forward to getting back there as Paulies Pub and Eatery is open. It's one of our sponsors and supporters of our program. Looking forward to having Paulie join us on the program. And I think he's standing in I can see him on our screen. It's like he's sitting next to me. Only I wish we were at Paulies Pub and Eatery to do that. Paulie, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing lovely. I'm drinking my Busch Light tonight. So it's a little snowy out, so we are doing it.
Where are you at right now?
What's that?
Where are you at right now?
I am normally where you sit. I am at Paulies. I am right in front of the garage door, the appropriately placed, drinking my cordoned off from everybody about 30 feet away from our 2 employees tonight. So I am drinking a Busch Light in my own bar, because that's like the second one since we had to shut down. So
wow. Well, we feel honored that you're celebrating with us this evening. Cheers to you, Paulie. And you've been a long-time supporter of our show, and we can't thank you enough for being our home. We look forward to getting back home soon. How can we help you now? You're open for carryouts, right? Tell us how you're functioning and what the current situation is now for how many hours you're open a day and what you're offering on a daily basis.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 to 8. Friday, noon to 8 right now, or noon to 8. Saturday and Sunday, noon to 7. Hours will probably update this week, depending on what it is. We understand a lot more people are getting laid off, things like that, so we know disposable income. They want to help out, but there's not that opportunity coming around that much anymore. We've got a couple different ways you can do it, though. You can call 414-257-2854. That's our number. Otherwise, you go on pauliespubandeatery.com. You can order online. And we just signed up with DoorDash, and we had Grubhub. So we've got 2 delivery options for you to make sure that everything's safe and sound.
And thanks to your multiple Facebook posts, if you follow Paulies Pub and Eatery on Facebook, you'll get Paulie giving you the daily news, if you will, of what's going on. I really enjoy the fact you're able to connect, even during the remodel. This is what's going on today. This is what we expect tomorrow. Here's our specials. Now more than ever, we should promote the fact that you guys went through that entire remodel, but you also remodeled your menu. So if you're like, I like Paulie's because I like this food or that food, there's a lot of different menu items now. You launched a brand new menu when things finally got finished up with the hammers and nails, right?
Yeah, we needed to clean it up, and we wanted to bump up the menu just a little bit, so we got mac and cheeses on there. Couple different options, grilled cheeses, a little bit more gourmet style burger, I guess. So we wanted to change that up. We're trying to still do that. Look for us in the future doing more grocery type items, and then doing family meals. We're looking hopefully in the next week or two to get that started, and those will also be on our website. So let's say you wanted to order chicken cacciatore for Wednesday, would be on our online. You could order it and tell me what time you're going to pick it up.
Wow.
We'd have it ready for you. You can throw it in the oven. Also take and bake pizzas, different things like that. It is a different world, completely different world, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon here. So we got to prepare for what we got to prepare, do what we got to do, and hopefully we're still standing when the dust clears.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot that goes into this, and I know you're really promoting your business, but more importantly, you can support Paulie by saying if you're working at a business and they are bringing in lunches to you, or on a given Friday instead of Pizza Friday from a pizza place, Paulie, you are doing a decent run at trying to get some businesses, and you've had some success according to your Facebook posts and updates on companies coming to you for how many people can you feed on a given lunch hour on a given day?
You know, if we get time, we could probably do up to 750 people. If we can do it 2 days, generally, cold cut subs, things like that. We don't like to do the buffet style that contradicts everything that we're supposed to be doing. So, but we do individual turkey, ham, roast beef sandwiches like that. We've done some portobello mushroom caps as sandwiches, black bean burgers for vegetarians out there. So things like that we could do. That gives us opportunity to bring our staff in, have everything organized out here, get everything ready, deliver them with minimal contact, and do it at a reasonable price for businesses.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're in West Allis. I mean, you can always just swing by and grab them. You'll have them ready. How has your Friday fish fry turnout been during the month, during the Easter season, and carrying on through now as the weather tells us it's still winter time here in Wisconsin?
Yeah. Fish fry's been great. It's interesting. We kind of changed our business model on that too. On Fridays, we've been having to do just the fish. We are doing it assembly line style and drive-through style. Last week was the first week we cleared out the parking lot, had 2 lines. Call in, get your order. Some people did have to wait a little bit, and we appreciate their patience. This is a new adventure for us. But this Friday we'll do only fish from noon until probably keep it open till 9. So we'll have the beer battered, breaded, baked, and you can call 257-2854. You can order online and reserve it later. You can also do Grubhub and or DoorDash. But we've got it streamlined now, so it's going to work a lot better. So we're hoping to get everybody through the line within 10 to 15 minutes.
That's pretty impressive, knowing you're actually scaling and changing things on the fly. Do you have a minute? I know you're open now, and you've only got 2 other employees in there. Do you have a minute to maybe show us a few of the highlights of the remodel now that you're hanging out where the Roundup stage now is, on a real stage platform?
Yeah, it is a real stage platform. I can kind of show you that. Behind us, we got the garage door there. Yep. You can kind of see that. We replaced a bunch of beams in here, a bunch of windows. I don't know how well you can see. There's some windows. New bathrooms, new TVs on everything, new bar area, new ceiling, new heating and cooling, new kitchen, basically everything, new floor. So we opened it up just a little bit, cleaned it up a little bit. There's a lot of things that are going on around West Allis, and we want to come out of the gates firing when this thing is finally over, and be able to take our lives back. I'm not one to like to sit around and wait for other people to make decisions for me, but I guess that's what we got to do right now. And so we are going to be ready. Obviously, like I said, we have to change our business model a little bit. We've got another location field trip that we're looking at possibly converting to catering. so that we can have that opportunity when this all comes back, because we know there's going to be some changes as well. So we appreciate you guys being with us for this long haul. Hopefully it's a long time. And I just, I know you have the Anderson's maple syrup there, so that's what I picked up at Festival Foods for my once a month, that I can have syrup and pancakes because I'm diabetic. So that is the syrup of choice in the Paulie household.
And Paul, I know that your menu changes. Speaking of when we go back to normalcy, when we get a chance to see you in person, when we're hanging out on a Tuesday night at Paulies, no longer is it burger night at Paulies. Tuesdays, you got to bring your sombrero and your poncho, right? Taco Tuesdays?
Yeah, Taco Tuesdays. So we have Modelo's. Modelo's on special. We're not going to say the other beer that we have on special.
Corona.
The Salsa Hornitos Reposado Tequila. And then we have 3 types of tacos that you can either get in combination or 3 of the kinds. So we've got the ground beef, the gringo. And then we have barbacoa, which is a beef. And then we have chicken tango, which is a spicy chicken. So
that's good.
All on flour. So they're phenomenal.
Love the chicken tango. I can't get enough of it. You realize that racers are sloppy eaters, right? So you're going to be remodeling that floor every Tuesday when we get back in there with all the taco spills.
That's fine. Hey, and I don't care if it's so busy and it's so dirty that we have to replace the floor after a year. I'm okay with that, as long as we get people back in here.
And we're looking forward to doing just that. Paulie, we know you're going to be open. We're going to continue telling people to support your business in West Allis. Go to Paulies Pub and Eatery.com to find out the menu options you want. The full menu is available tonight, not just tacos. You mentioned Fridays are saved for fish, but beyond that, support Paulie. He's been a great supporter of us, and a lot of short track racers get a chance to go in there. Matter of fact, when the vintage stock cars raced at the mile, they went to Paulie and said, Paulie, can you help sponsor our series that races at the mile? Absolutely. I mean, Paul is a great supporter. We all benefit from your involvement and enthusiasm to make sure the racing crowd has a place to hang out. Thank you.
I appreciate that. And kind of on a good note, if it all works out, I heard the Father's Day race may possibly still be on over at the mile. Have you heard anything contrary to that?
Nope. June 13 and 14, it's still rolling. We're going to actually talk to Greg McCarnes, who runs the ARCA Midwest Tour, works right in step with the track promoter, Track Enterprises, and Bob Sargent. So we're going to talk to Greg about how it's developed to this point. 1 week from tonight, we'll have Greg McCarnes on the show. So I'll let you know if anything shakes between now and then.
We got plenty of stands over there, so I'll have to figure out something to keep people separated. So I'll have to figure out something how to keep people separated in the parking lot, huh?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll need your help, because you're all about making sure the proportions are correct. And as you mentioned, things continue to change. We hope you can continue to support Paulies Pub and Eatery. Please do that by going to pauliespuband.eatery.com to put your order in and get that whole office party going. If you're working in an office up to 750 people with notice, Paulie can feed you to one big sit-down, or one big box lunch affair. So by all means, keep Paul in mind for that as well. Paulie, thank you for joining us on the Racing Roundup Show. We hope to indeed see you soon.
All right, Jim. Take care. Be safe.
That's Paulie from Paulies Pub and Eatery, our home for 14 years now, I think it is, something like that. It's going to be our home again when we go back racing for real with a racing crowd. For now, we're in the kitchen hanging out with you on this Tuesday night. When we come back, we're talking about how to win championships, win races on asphalt, on dirt, on off-road tracks around the world. Charlie McCormick from ATD Automatic Transmission Design knows exactly what to do and how to do that, and he's done it with great success. We'll talk to Charlie McCormick from ATD next on the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
Calling all racers. Turn your metal recyclables into cash at one of Allied Resource Recovery's locations in Milwaukee, West Allis, or Waukesha. Who doesn't like cash for that metal you no longer use in your race shop or on your job site? Allied Resource Recovery, family owned by hardcore racers, and has been recycling since 1938. Recycling pays for you and the environment. Allied Resource Recovery, your recycling destination. For more, visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com.
If you want to eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races, then you should hook up with Boring Bob's Escorted NASCAR Racing Tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack. His motor coaches get the best parking spots. Let someone else worry about race traffic after the race. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Talladega, Charlotte, Joliet, Daytona, Michigan, and more. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Boring Bob has great packages for NASCAR, Winston Cup, and Busch Series events, including hotel rooms. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Stay tuned to the Racing Roundup Show, America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program, held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed every Tuesday night on the local racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports from 6 to 7:30, live on WOKY AM, the Big 920 Milwaukee, and on WTSO AM 1070, The Game in Madison. Join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast. Once again, here's the trackside voice of the Daytona 500 and NASCAR at the track. You hear him on NAB TV's live coverage of the ARCA Menard Series. And now, here's the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
And welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you're hanging out in the shop, there's a way to you can show off your pictures, actually. At Speed 51, show your pictures on the hashtag Speed 51 Pics. And your shop picks can be shared. Speed 51 picks, shop picks would be kind of cool. I think I got that right. We're going to try to continue to recognize businesses that are supporting our show so you can support them. Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego, we just threw their commercial. They're open to shop their new inventory of lawnmowers and handheld power products. Visit olsonspower.com for your spring tune-up on your mower or maybe your snowblower, which you might have had to use today if it kept snowing. You can visit olsonspower.com, or better yet, give them a call at 414-422-9130. Get your blades or chainsaw chain sharpened. Call Olson's Power. Set an appointment. They have equipment manuals on their website, so you can order the exact part you need for your machine at olsonspower.com. Great supporters of our show, right on the border of New Berlin and Muskego, right by Maddie's grill there. So not far from anywhere. By all means, check them out and support that great sponsor for our show. They've been involved for a long time. Hoping to get one of those boys on. They go online racing too at Olson's Power, given the chance, not during regular business hours, of course, with Sonny and Neil and the guys having fun. We know that it takes a lot to go race and go win championships. We know that it takes a lot of moving parts and pieces. Now crank them up to 10,000 RPM and say, by the way, you're jumping over this 40-foot ditch. Now you're going to go over these whoops. Now you're going to be grinding through this soggy old mess of a mud pile, and your stuff has to hold. Well, Charlie McCormick from ATD, Automatic Transmission Design, has been living in those torrid environments for a long time and coming out normally with the trophy. So let's bring in Charlie McCormick with Automatic Transmission Design, a great supporter of our show. And Charlie, thanks for joining us via Skype to talk all the good things about ATD. How have things been going and getting things going when it comes to racers and their parts and what you develop at ATD on a daily basis?
Hi, Jim. We're doing pretty good. We have enough work to keep us steady. There was quite a bit of interest early in the season with the off-road stuff for sure, because the season was supposed to start the third week of March. That race was postponed because of the, I think it was the El Nina, something, whatever, came in from off of the coast and flooded the track. So they're like, yeah, we can't do this. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. So a lot of the guys that are in the off-road community are really in prep mode. If they ever do let these guys loose, there's going to be a lot of brand new stuff ready to get torn up. We have a consistent amount of work with both those guys and drag racers, and a little bit of circle track, not a lot. So we're cautiously optimistic, but we're still having to make sure that all of the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, that kind of stuff.
And when it comes to racing, Charlie, if someone gives you an idea, I always see I see you in action at the shop at ATD. You're thankfully been able to repair my personal vehicles with great care and great success. That's part of what you do, but your mind always seems to be thinking about how to make that next part, how to make it improving on what you already have, or you see another component that may be causing an issue 4 links down from the transmission that may need to be addressed and balanced harmonically and that kind of stuff. How does that, I guess I should start by saying, when did that start clicking for you, that you need to do this? This is what you do really good, and how you enjoy yourself by helping so many other racers.
Honestly, it really started clicking probably back in like 92 or 93 when we first started dabbling in multiple forms of motorsport. We had a pretty strong drag race community going on, and then we were introduced, I'll say forced, but we were introduced into off-road racing, and that blossomed greatly for us, and it still is a very profitable and very strong market for us. There's so much dynamic that goes on in any form of performance transmission work, from torque converters to the transmission itself, individual gearing inside the transmission. In off-road trucks, sometimes we have underdrives which complicate and or accentuate the problem. So having a good feel for what's going on at the track is important. A lot of the stuff that we're doing in drag racing now is centered on guys are going away from a conventional engine with a carburetor and a big camshaft to turbochargers, nitrous superchargers, sometimes turbochargers with nitrous. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that these guys are doing in an attempt to maximize their performance at the track. And sometimes they're packing it into an 1/8 mile instead of a 1/4 mile, which really complicates what's going on. So for us, it means being able to provide a package that gives these guys the opportunity to have as much performance as they can in an 1/8 mile race at 600 feet. So that's tough. That's very tough. And some of these guys are traveling 600 feet in 4 seconds, 4 to 5 seconds. So that's, if you think about your hot rod muscle car that everybody touted as a 0 to 60 time in the 6-second range, these guys are going 0 to 140 miles an hour in less than that.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it's got to work. It's got to twist, and it's got to be a lot of wear and tear. But it seems like, Charlie, you guys make it so good that the repair bills or the repairing is not as often, I would guess, unless something goes crazy, because you're always refining what you have and always improving on what you ship back to the customer once you have one of your components in their trucks, right?
Well, that's very true. Our rate of return is very low. The off-road guys are a lot like the NASCAR guys or some of the circle track guys, where they want to make sure that everything is fresh and new, so that they're on a schedule of repair, so that we know that, okay, we've got X number of races on this. We're going to go and send it back to Charlie, have him freshen it, and make sure everything's ready to go. The drag race guys, they'll drive it till they break it. And that's just been the way it is. Very few of the drag race guys really just, want to say, okay, I got 200 passes on this thing, I probably need to get it looked at. And if they did that, they'd probably have significantly less problems. And some of the guys, if they're running some of the what we call the big tire street car class stuff, if they were looking in the 150 to 200 pass range to get their stuff freshened up and make sure that it's right, they would actually find that their drag racing maintenance costs went down. What we see a lot in the drag race stuff is these guys just beat the living hell out of it, and it doesn't last, and then it becomes very expensive because all of the stuff in the trans is now sacrificed.
And because you're really smart at this, you're going to have someone point a finger at you with a box in their hand going, this broke, you did something wrong. I imagine at any point you've got to encounter, I'm trying to make the analogy. I guess I don't have one, because you probably have 10 questions at minimum to ask someone when they want to come and use ATD's equipment, and especially 10 times 10 if something breaks. You want to know what happened exactly when and where, because the conditions have so much to do with how your equipment works, and sometimes get stressed beyond maximum capacity.
Absolutely. The transmission is the dynamic that I have to fight is torque. Torque is driven by the engine package that's bolted to the front of the transmission, and it's also encumbered by how much traction you have. So traction is a quotient that is dictated by the form of racing that you are employing yourself into and how aggressive you're going to be. So drag racing is one thing. There's multiple tire combinations for drag racers. So we have to complement what we build, how we assemble the components based on the traction quotient that they have with a tire. In off-road truck racing, is it two-wheel drive? Is it four-wheel drive? Is it a Pro 2? Is it a Sportsman? What's your power level? Are there restrictions on the class? All of those things play into what we build and how much it's going to require on my end to make you a product that you can run all season long, because that's truly my goal. You come to me in late winter, early spring, bring me your stuff. This is what I want to do. I build you something. The next time I want to see you is when there's snow coming back on the ground, not in the middle of the racing season. Because if you came back to me in the middle of the racing season, somebody didn't do their job. And I don't want to be the one that didn't do their job.
Yeah, it's time to brag a bit, Charlie. Charlie McCormick with ATD Auto Trans Design joining us on the Racing Roundup Show. A great supporter of our program, and more importantly, you are there at the racetrack. You are on the road. You are either in an airplane or taking your toter home with the trailer of parts behind you to the racetrack. Brag about some of the championships you've been able to accomplish and win, and some of the highlights of what ATD, a company in Germantown, an awesome auto repair shop, and beyond that, innovators, technicians helping these teams win championships. Give us some of the rundown of some of the teams you've been able to help and drivers you've been able to help accomplish and win major championships. Well, probably the biggest feather on our cap is that we had 6 straight championships with Scott Taylor in Pro 2 back in the day, 7 overall. He was unseated by Ricky Johnson. If you look over my shoulder, you can see that big number 1. That is Ricky Johnson's number 1 plate that he gave to me after he won the championship in 2010. Scott had already mostly retired at that point in time, but we also have countless championships on the West Coast with Brian Deegan, Steve Barlow. You put me on the spot here, making me think hard. We have been doing off-road truck racing since 1992 in earnest, and I will put my reputation and my success up against anybody in the transmission business, coast to coast. And
there's nobody.
Believe it or not, Charlie actually helps teams by being a very valuable team spotter. So that means you're not always fixing stuff at the track. You're there to support them, there to get them on the track, but then you've got customers and friends that say, Charlie, get up in the stand and tell me as a spotter what's going on. So you can actually see and absorb the conditions literally as they transpire in front of you. That's got to be an added component for your customers as well that you can benefit from.
I'm currently a spotter for another Wisconsin guy, Kevin Honegraaff. He's a Pro 2 racer, pretty much an out-of-the-wallet kind of guy. He does have some sponsorship, but it's all contingency-based and a little bit of money that comes in. But it's his family and his love for the sport that keeps him on the racetrack. He came to me pretty much out of desperation. How do I do this? We've formulated a plan, and we've chipped away at the little inadequacies that he has in his program to get him to where he needs to be. He contacted me over Christmas, and he's like, I need you to tell me 3 things that you need to do, or that I need to do to make my program better. What do I have to do? Well, his transmission program is on spot. I told him, I said, you need better brakes, you need better sway bars, and you need to drive harder. And I do spot for Kevin, and I push him hard, but I also recognize, I think that any good spotter needs to recognize that if you push the driver to the point where they're uncomfortable, then they don't. They just stop. Yep. They slow down to the point where they become comfortable, and now you've lost their confidence and destroyed their confidence at the same time. So Kevin's not a young guy. He's not a young gun, but he's also extremely experienced. He's got moto experience. He's got a lot of other truck stuff. And he doesn't not want to win. He wants to look good is what he wants to do. Because he knows he's fighting guys like Keegan Kincaid and Andrew Carlson and Kyle Kleiman. These are guys that are half his age with probably better equipment, truly. But he's like, he wants to put his foot to the floor and make sure when he turns left or right, it goes left or right. And when it jumps, it lands. So I'm willing to help Kevin. And I told him when he asked me to become a spotter. I said, I'm going to push you. If you do what I tell you, I'll continue to spot. Otherwise, I'll hand you back the headset. And he's done everything that I've ever asked him to do.
Cool. Part of your eye in the sky approach also, Charlie, because you are a provider of equipment, doesn't matter the series, doesn't matter the sanction, IHRA, NHRA in drag racing, divisional, national, doesn't matter. When it comes to off-road racing, we know that Lucas Oil Off-Road is going strong on the West Coast, or has been the stronghold there, which was the core and soda program way back in the Midwest before Marty Reed took it west, and we won't get into that. But if you hear me talking intelligently, anybody listening about off-road racing, because I just got off the phone with Charlie McCormick, you are involved now in what is another evolution, another page turn for what we know as Crandon, the big house, and who gets to race there, and how Lucas Oil Racing has stepped away from being involved in the Midwest Series that was, at one point, the Torque Series that Ricky Johnson won the championship with you in 2010. What's the status now? What's going on in the world of off-road truck racing?
So it's Champ Off-Road is now what's considered the sanctioning body for the Midwest Series of off-road truck racing. Champ Off-Road was formulated by I can't remember the guy's name, Chris, that owns ISOC, which is the snowmobile sanctioning body. Very smart guy, well connected with sponsors, TV packages. He knows how to promote events. Frankly, I think this is the guy that we needed to go to 2 years ago, but you can't get the water back under the bridge. So there's been very little communication from Champ and Crandon and or the rest of the tracks, mostly because I think they're waiting for what's going to happen on a federal level to determine what's going to go on.
Gotcha.
Now, I don't know if you're locked in a studio or not, but it snowed like crazy today, and it snowed like crazy over the weekend. I talked to one of my friends up in the Crandon area. They got 1.5 feet of snow.
Whoa. Wow.
So that was from Keegan Kincaid. He lives in Crandon. And he was driving around on Saturday, and it was snowing so hard he could barely drive. So that's going to change a bunch of things. There was supposed to be a track day towards the tail end of May. I don't think that is going to happen. Crandon is very, very protective of their facility from the standpoint of making sure that the track doesn't get destroyed. And if there's a lot of moisture in it, they probably will not allow these guys to go. That aside, the Champ guys, I think, are on the right track. I think they're bringing the media exposure. They're trying to stay up on their website stuff, but they're kind of hampered because they don't know what to tell anybody to do right now. So it's fortunate that they are associated with Chris Carlson, who's a pretty astute businessman from Minnesota, also part of the ISAC deal. Chris has a lot of experience with the off-road stuff because he and his son have been doing it for, I think it's going on 5 years now. So I think in the end we'll be okay. What's going on the West Coast, that is the Lucas Series is in a state of flux. I know some stuff that I'm not necessarily privy to talk about,
I'm sure
but I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think that they just need to get some stuff. They need to get their series off the ground and get these guys on the racetrack. One of my racers, Ryan Beat, is jumping from Pro Light to Pro 2 this year. He's going to run both series, both the West Coast and our Wisconsin series. So he'll bring a very good perspective of what the real feel for an off-road truck is going to be.
And that's why I enjoy talking to you, because you have not just the sampling or the thought. You actually are talking to these people every day as part of your business, getting involved with the Racing Winning Championship transmissions. Now, when it comes to the day-to-day business, ATD is in Germantown, ASE is certified technicians. What percentage of your business would you say is currently working with daily drivers and fleet vehicles in your shop?
Well, up to March, I would tell you we're probably somewhere between a 70-30 to 60-40 split between daily driver stuff and performance work. Right now, it's probably close to 50-50, to be honest with you. The performance stuff has been a big buoy for us financially to keep us able to keep all of our guys employed. We do have work that is steady coming in. And because we're in the business where we're providing a product for guys that use vehicles for commercial purposes, we're happily able to support, construction guys or landscapers or whatever it is. We just everybody needs to just calm down and get back to work, basically. But we're probably 40% off of what we should normally be with the work we should be doing on regular daily drivers and trucks and that kind of stuff in the shop.
Yep. And I know autotransdesign.com is the website your son Michael is involved in. I see Facebook posts on Autotrans Design, so like your Facebook page. What other ways can they interact with you, Charlie, to get their work done, whether it be on the track or on the street?
Well, we're always available via phone. That's the best way because, as you stated earlier, there's so many dynamics that go into answering the question that you think you want to know, whether it's performance or just an OEM type stuff. The sophistication of modern vehicles is so high that there's so many integrations between the engine management systems and transmission management stuff that it makes it extremely difficult for me to give you a pat answer over the phone. I will tell you this, if you pull the shifter and it doesn't move, that's not good. However, if you pull the shifter and it moves, but it doesn't do what you think it's supposed to do, there might be something else causing the problem. And with the sophistication and the electronics that are involved in modern vehicles, it requires us to be able to get in the vehicle with our diagnostic equipment and make an evaluation of the situation to give you a true estimate and an idea of what's happening. Many, many, many times we find guys that think they need a transmission and they have some kind of electronics issue that causes problems that rears itself as a, quote, transmission issue, unquote.
And that's when you go to the experts at ATD to find that out. And the many questions Charlie has for you, he's not trying to spin you out. He's just trying to get you down the track as fast as possible or over that jump at 140 miles an hour. Charlie McCormick, thanks for your support of the show. Thanks for taking the time to join us tonight as well on the Racing Roundup Show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Let you and Rachel get back to the grandkids and have some fun. We are live this evening from the kitchen. We are live for one more segment. We'll wrap things up, tell you about who's coming on next week's show, and how you can win some more cool stuff, including Bill Baylog merchandise, if you haven't tuned in till now. When we come back on the Racing Roundup Show, stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more of the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for listening in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Add beauty and value to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team of professionals at Central Services is the personal choice of over 30 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin with landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts of Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business regarding your landscaping or lawn care needs. Find out why Central Services can provide you with a visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005 or toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the #1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE-trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on 1070 The Game. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show on our screen and on your opportunity to win more cool stuff. Our pictures we showed you last week, but I didn't tell you how to win them because we ran out of time. Right now is the time to get out your old clickety-click and get on the email trail. RacingRoundup@gmail.com is where you can win one of two classic Rust Lake photos we have in front of us. We'll give these away by just typing an email, RacingRoundup@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put in Win Mears if you want to win the 1988 Rick Mears pose at the Indy 500 after he won the Monday after on the Yard of Bricks with the car and the Borg Warner. Win Mears is the subject line for that. If you want to win the Jim Sauter winning the 1984 ASA race at the Milwaukee Mile, flashing underneath the flags with the number 5 on the door, the Dairyland Transport car. That picture also the 8x10 thanks to Russ Lake. He took that photo then. You can win it now by sending an email in to enter to win. RacingRoundup@gmail.com is the email address. Type in Win Sauter in the subject line. Earlier tonight we had Bill Balog on the show. He also gave us a couple of things to give away. If you want to win some Bill Balog merchandise, email us at RacingRoundup@gmail.com. And in the subject line, put Win Balog, and we'll let you know what you win because he had a whole bunch of stuff he's willing to give away to listeners and viewers of our show. We have had so much fun joining you this evening. Thanks to Bill Balog, thanks to Charlie McCormick from ATD, and our friend Paulie from Paulies Pub and Eatery for joining us. We'll reschedule Bob Dillon at another time. He's got a lot going on. Check out speed51.com for all things 100% short track racing. Our next show is next Tuesday. We have Greg McCarnes lined up, owner of the ARCA Midwest Tour and Madison International Speedway. We lined up tonight. The drivers won on the championships on both dirt and asphalt in Wisconsin at Plymouth and Slinger. Brad J.J. Miller of Miller Sales and Services joining us on the show next Tuesday, as well as Midwest Truck Series man in charge, John Wood. And we'll get you up to date on what's going on in Wisconsin. If you are a Wisconsin iRacer, send us an email, pop a note on Facebook to us to see what you're doing. I want to talk about that next week on the show so more people can have fun iRacing and doing other things during this pandemic. It's been a great time once again for joining us here on this Tuesday evening. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Until then, set your DVRs. Have at it, racers.